Hey everybody, welcome back to Fire Pit TCGs. I'm Hellfire and I'm bringing you the quarterfinals. Is that what top 8 is? Quarterfinals something top 8, whatever. It's the top 8 match at the WeCross Florida GP held at Osceola Park. I am with one of our top 8 finalists, Jayfeather, who fortunately didn't make it all the way to the finals. Spoiler alert, but we already saw those results anyways. But here he is in the top 8 match. So aside from the obvious, how did the rest of your day go?
Oh, it was great. It was so fun facing like unique decks for a change, and not being able to like know every single card and the entire deck and other deck.
Yeah, that's like one of the best things about this GP is like the deck representation was so rich, especially considering the fact that I think everybody was like running super heavy boogeyman. Oh no, we're gonna be playing against Ange, Sash, etc., etc. And then here we are. If we've seen the deck lists before the gameplay actually started, and then we have you here on Umaru.
Yes.
No one expected this. I didn't expect this. Like, I look at this top 8 and I'm like, all right, some of these are kind of expected. Okay, there's a rogue Milliloon. Like, Madoka's still pretty good in this. And I just look at Umar and go, huh? This made it?
I
Excuse
was
me?
also surprised.
Like, how did this happen? So, you're going first here. Because you placed higher seed, I presume. Or he told you go
Yes.
first. And then,
No, I wanted first. I knew he was on Ange.
yeah.
No way, I'm not going first against Ange.
Yeah, that's fair. Like against dash decks, like having that first turn at level 3 kind of like helps out to a degree. Uh, but at the same time, I believe like this was talked on a prior video. It's like I'm surprised you didn't like want to go second because now they only get like 2 turns of attacks kind of thing. But I guess it's like pick and choose. Like you can either choose to go first and set up defenses that's going to be hard for them to take care of on their level 3 turn, or you can go second and pray to God you can do enough damage before their level 3 turn to put them in a situation where you can kill them before their dash turn.
I was very surprised. Like, so I knew it was Ange coming into this match, but the assist I was completely like surprised by.
Oh, no, the assist line's crazy. Um, So one thing I find interesting. Oh, Futase Burst is so good here. Futase Burst is so messed up, but it's so good here. So,
It's so good.
one thing I wanted to ask was like, why Wishin in your deck? Is it just to have extra hand?
It's because I started on Lise for level 2 reasons, and Lise's level 1 that draws cards is virtual locked, and this deck needed more card advantage. And so I just
Right,
published and draw every single turn.
right. And her other level ones that give you cards only look for white and black, and well, I don't think that really works out considering if I remember your list, even though I just looked at it like 2 seconds ago. Uh, there's not a lot of like level 1 and 2 options that you have for like white or black, so it's just kind of like,
There are
really?
none. Oh
Oh,
my,
I mean, you
what?
have Yuki Memoria here,
Oh,
but
you're right, yeah. Except for Yuki. Nobody
yeah,
wants to use a blue. I
yeah,
have no blue level 3s.
yeah. That's another one too. The blue count in your deck literally is just like mono means and random drains for the most part, and then this random folklore here. Uh,
No burst here was so big.
Yerp. So, and we'll touch on this later too. Why did you want to bring Blue or Umaru to GP instead of literally anything else? Like, I'm not trying to rag on the deck. Like, I love
No,
this. I love your deck, but like, why?
it was my first deck. Like when I was looking through all the Elvics for what deck I wanted to buy into first, I saw Haskellus, and I was like, I found it super funny putting a Hassless. Hassless is just a fun word to say, in my opinion. And also being able to get like 4 or 5 attack-based triggers is really funny.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna love a deck that comes out in the future. Then, if you like attack phase triggers, that's definitely for certain. But that's not what we're talking about here in this video.
Yeah.
So we already see that guys are kind of almost the same life cloth lies. It grows into his loud voice, gets rid of your folklore in the center, which is fair because that can't be bounced by any other means.
Yes. So I actually thought he had the Nashi 3 stops the entire game until he actually played the other one. So I was like playing around that.
Right.
I didn't even knew that Assisty use actually existed.
Yeah, most of the
selection, and then I knew the 3 stop.
Yeah, most of the time when you see Nanashi assist, you tend to assume that they're just on selection because like her other level 2s aren't really, like, in my opinion, her other level 2s aren't really that impressive compared to selection. But that also might just be because I haven't played with any of her other level 2s aside selection. Oh, I got the double Toto. That's rude.
Yes. Oh God. I don't remember what happened to you. I don't remember.
I mean, I saw the glimpse of the servant in your hand, so I think the most you're taking 3, which honestly is pretty fine here. I mean, you could also just tank the 4th damage too, and probably like keep the servant for if he goes for his OPG turn.
Yeah. Problem is, like, you definitely want a servant here because I play Ultra Superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to grab servants, actually like 2 servants off of that is really good for that damage. If you find them at least.
Right. We see you go for the early scare here and both mill.
Oh yeah, we missed so I used my blue item, so this deck doesn't play a lot of white. So when I was looking at my hand, I was like I wasn't sure if I would be able to get the blue, and I was like, I'll accept that risk. And because I knew I had 2 level 2s in hand. So I was like, okay, I'll be able to play my 2 level 2s, and then if I don't find another one, I can always also superheroes for it.
Yeah. Well, here we see that you're still not going to be able to grow.
Yes.
Oh my. So what you're telling me is, like, yeah, spoilers, because we know you made it to top 4. You got grow locked to this game, and you oh, that's gross.
I intentionally boomed the Earth Assist with the mill, thinking that would happen.
Interesting.
Just because I knew I had 2 level 2s in hand, so it's like, it's great if I do hit the blue off of my life cloth, but it's not end of the world. It's not the worst if I happen to.
Right. So here you go for Ultra Superheroes. I do see a servant in there, and what looks like is a gay bulg, and I didn't catch what the other card he did was. It looked like a Musica Memoria.
It's also Yuki.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Yuki made Memoria.
Now I play my beefy level 2.
Yes, your beefy level 2 is in the squishy Bruno down center. Which, yeah, now if he wants to put more damage out now, he has to use both of his collabs to get rid of your Folklores next turn.
Yes.
It's either grow to sword, and then, well, we already know hindsight, and the fact that we've already saw his list earlier. We know we don't have to worry about a Tama stop here. Tama boundary is a bit of a risk here. I don't even remember what her other level two, like what her other level twos are besides Boundary and Aura. Um, we already know he's on Aura anyways, like hindsight, obviously. But I guess he's checking to see if he wants to grow his Danashi for a stop, or if he just wants to face tank all the damage and see if he can stop damage that way. Because he is out a pretty decent chunk of his deck here. It looks like he's only got maybe 3 cards in deck at this point. Yeah, 3 cards in this deck is at this point, unless he's got more hidden under there that I just don't see.
Another what is it? Another funny interaction is, I don't know why this happens a lot, but thing where it, Umu, when I talk on its enter a card in hand to the bottom of the deck, it'll put it at an odd number. So when I ultra superheroes, they are stuck with 1 card in hand.
Ah, yeah, that is.
It's not intentional, but with the 18 mil, it just happens for some reason a lot.
Yeah, that does happen. Remember Burst does open a Folklore Lane. Hey, look, another Remember Burst. Is he going to activate and take this damage? This might just be me being a greedy player. I would just rip the band-aid off, take the draw, and then draw 2 on my next turn. Like, I'm gonna refresh anyways, and my opponent's playing blue. I don't wanna risk like losing my entire hand and then only being able to draw 1 card. Especially seeing what your list does. Like, yeah, no. I'm not risking that bullcrap. You can I'll rip the band-aid off. But we see he doesn't activate the burst here. He decides to just leave the 1 card in deck. So now the real fun part. He's probably guessing at this point is, can he kill you this turn? Which, unfortunately, I think the answer to that question is no. I mean, actually, he could. For the right conditions, he could, but,
yeah.
I don't think it's, like, feasible. It's more greedy than anything.
Yeah, because he plays, the mill out, so he has...
Right. I forget the mill out.
Yeah, so he can field wipe, so he can deal potentially, 3 from Signy, and then mill out is 4, plus once per game, and Elegant Attack for 5. I think. Was that 6?
That's 6. That's 6 there. 7 if he grows his Tama Boundary this turn, because it's basically the free restand, anyways. And I think this threw off a lot of people too. And I thought this was so great. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna have like all of these collabs like sleeved up, and then I'm just gonna summon 2 at random.
That made me yeah, that was pretty cool. I thought at first he might be on last like Flash.
You're not the only one who thought that. That's so funny. Because in a prior video, I had Phantom, who played against him in round 3, and he thought the same exact thing, that he was on Lazulite Flash because he had the deck of 4. So he burns both to just bounce your entire field back to hand, mill you out completely.
And now I take the time to check my life boost.
Which honestly, like, at that point is always a good thing. Like,
yes.
the great thing about Moonlight is it's a really big knowledge check for you, but at the same time, the double-edged sword of that is it's also a really big knowledge check for your opponent. Because you basically get the snapshot of how many bursts they're out publicly, whereas your opponent gets the snapshot of where all of their bursts are. So it's it's a double-edged sword of like, yeah, you get this free refresh point, basically, but you're now at the mercy of the knowledge that it grants your opponent as well. Because I think in this given situation, with like some of the knowledge, if you had like a 3-stop available, or like a multi-stop available for Signy attacks, you would just shotgun it to try and preserve as much damage as possible. But if you're milled out and you have perfect knowledge of where all your bursts are, then there's no reason as to why you would burn like a 3 or a multi-stop assist early, because you can just gamble on a burst stopping some of that damage instead.
Yes, importantly, I know Futase is in my Life Claw, which is really good against Hammer Aura.
It's just good. Yeah.
It stops the restand also.
Because even though like technically the Larig loses all abilities, it doesn't grant an ability to the Larig to tax the attack. It's just a blanket effect, basically. Love Dobbies were a very interesting choice in his deck too, and I mentioned it. Yes. I mentioned it in a prior video. It's just like typically you'd run that in like a mono white Larig only, but 2 white Larig is just enough for Love Dobby's burst, and that's basically all you need. It's just an upgraded Link's burst at that point. Oh, going to attacks. Hi, Yukime Memoria. That's crazy. Anyways. Okay, hello, another Yukime Memoria. No targets. And you got 2 servants in hand too, so it didn't even matter if you hit the Futase.
Actually, it's saying Futase is the bottom Life Claw, because I know he's gonna go for the
Yeah.
Why did I? Oh yeah, because he could Aura this.
Yeah, because he did go into Aura, so he can choose to.
You only have 2 cards in hand.
Wait, why did you discard a guard then?
He attacked.
Oh yeah, damage, right?
Damage once per game triggered Futase, and it's already attacking.
Yeah, so okay, I was like, wait, hold on. I didn't realize he did do that. Oh baby, hello, Umer level 3. Bottom deck, so now he has 2 cards in deck. And you know he doesn't have the servant, so
yes,
you have virtually free reign to do as you please this turn. So I see the Musica Memoria. Blank Live Dobby, so that was only 8k. See the Yukime Memoria as well. I see, is that Orochimaru? Yeah, that is an Orochimaru in your hand as well. You basically have 3 holes here. Well, 2.5. Kind of 2.5, if you count Hastalisk.
It's 0.25 hole. He has enough to pay for it.
Yeah, he has enter to pay for it, and he has like 1 card in hand to pay for it if he's really that desperate. Because I don't remember the assist cost or the cost on purification. So he might just have to be forced to draw the he might have to be forced to discard the card in his hand if you once per game here to put a Hastalisk under something. Which doesn't matter in the long run anyways, because you've got they're just gonna, oh yeah, there's the once per game Hastalisk over there. And my favorite part about this interaction, and something I actually haven't thought of, is Hastalisk trigger is hilarious with the Yukime and Musica Memoria texts. Both of them say if the Signy in front of this gets vanished, it is trashed instead. So now your opponent is stuck with this choice. Do I pay the 1 and force them to swing so I don't take damage, but I basically lose out on, like, a card in hand and a card in enter, or 2 cards in enter? Or do I just let this thing get trashed anyways? Because that's basically what's going to end up happening.
Yes, it denies 2 resources, which is really funny.
Yeah, it's so fancy. I can't stop thinking about this interaction when it was pointed out to me when I was looking at deck lists after the event. Like, oh, it was so good. I love it. I love it so much.
So I used to just play blue-white, and the power level of going from 4 Yukime effects to 8 with music cut is actually insane.
Yeah, you're basically running effectively 10 gay bulks at this point.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, 10 gay bulks. I would say 12, but you're only running 2 in your deck, or 2 gay bulks, which honestly, like, considering you run Wishin, gay bulk isn't really needed as much. Because I just remember my early days of playing this Umer Center, because I thought this Umer Center was, like, fantastic when it came out. Like, I would run the 4 of gay bulks, put them in lanes that didn't have Hastalisk, put something beefy in the lane that did have Hastalisk, where it's just like, oh, if I'm underswinging here, it's fine, but it's going to be harder to get rid of on the crackback. And then gay bulk would just take care of 2 resources anyway, so I didn't have to swing with them at all, and I just get to draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
But given, again, like, Wishin, it's like, oh, that's basically gay bulk at home, and it pays off a little over time anyways.
Yeah, I only run 2 in this deck because I'd rather have Yukime or Musica out because it denies the Anno with Haskellus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you decide to do, banish it.
Yeah.
Also, Musica is really good because it, against the Esper matchup, so they try to mill you out. Because on attack, you can just keep shuffling 2 cards back into the deck.
Yeah, and that 2 cards can make or break it because, like, for example, like one of the examples that I can think of is the Mito matchup. If you can get, like, their threshold to being able to double refresh. And we see the Nanashi purification here to open 1 lane and then see ya on the other 2 lanes. Like for the Mito matchup, for example, with like Musica Memoria's effect, is if you can stay above the 14 threshold, Mito can't double refresh you.
Yeah. Oh. I thought for a second before attacking, whether I actually wanted to skip attack to avoid a bad boost.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I didn't see like phone slashes or anything in the stack, I decided it was fine just to get the damage in. Because that's the only way I lose this game at this point is if you get a really good like boost on me.
Okay. I got really confused why he didn't shuffle 2 cards back, and then I remember Musica's ability is a May in this case. Yeah. So like
I only wanted they were just level 1s in Folklore in the trash, so I didn't actually want to put those back in the draw.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I'd rather draw my level 3s.
Like your opponent's already done all of their mill stuff, so like there's no real point to like shuffle anything back. And at this point, your opponent's just out of gas. Like they're at no cloth. Well, you both are at no cloth here. And you still have your level 2 assist available. So unless he can clear 3 lanes here, which I think is impossible, yeah, it's impossible for him to clear 3 lanes here. Because he's already burnt through both of his collabs. He has no assists available because he's grown out. He has no pieces available. So I think like his only safe bet here is set up a board you can't kill, and Prey.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't have. He doesn't have a servant in hand. So he's literally at the Prey stage, I guess.
Yes, and I know he has no servant in hand also.
Yeah, true. Because you bottom decked a, I don't remember which card you even bottom decked, and you saw.
He just refreshed.
Yeah, and then his top deck when you did the Yukime check was Curson. So yeah, he is literally in the Prey stage. Down the remembered imaginary check. Curson's never going to activate here because he's already done his mill.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that either way you have to grow your assist here, otherwise you are dead.
100%.
Yeah. It's kind of gross. It's actually gross. Yep. There's Ice Wall. Those two can't attack. Wow, I can't believe I paid 3 to stop 1. Broken. Yep, there's... Yeah, guard tax, and, scoop it up, buddy. It's a GG here. Enter there. Is it time to play your own Remember and return the favor? I think so. Yeah, wishing.
Add you the Mew, which.
Yeah, I mean you don't. I can't really. Oh wait. You don't have any level 1s in your hand aside from. Yeah, no, you have no level 1s in your hand, so you can't kill anything off of the Mew anyways. Because at most the Mew gets you like 1 level 1 out of your trash, and then you're still stuck with the fact that he's got 2 level 2s and a level 3. So
yes.
Imaginary. Oh yeah, you gotta pay 1 here. Oop.
Remember has to pay for Remember.
Yep. I love Remember Memoria. It's such a fun card. Said no one ever. Oh, pays for that. Force the discard here. And then go for the rig swing. Yep. And that is GG's.
Games.
Very much games.
Those two Futase bursts were so big.
Yeah. And it looks like...
The fact that Futase is still a stop, if your opponent plays it, it's always a stop.
Yeah. Well,
Insane.
it's always a stop until it's until it's their literal last attack.
Yes.
Like if they have no other attacks after the Futase burst, then it's not a stop. But like in multi-attacking Lurig decks, like Tama, for example, anything running Tama Aura, or like any white decks that are running like Kome. I know some Sash decks like to run, I'm going to bite my tongue, pronounce it, Rongaminiad or whatever it is. I butchered that completely. Like, some decks like running that because it's easy to set up an extra attack with the amount of white that they're running. Like, in those cases, 100%, it's always a stop. It's great.
Yes.
And then it's still sad to see what happened in top 4. That'll be covered in the next video. We won't talk about it here. That's going to be the clickbait for the top 4 match. We're not going to talk about it here. So
was a game.
There was definitely a game of all time. Well, a game, probably not of all time, but definitely a game. So with that in mind, that'll be it for this video. Thank you for coming on for this. It's always fun to get people's thought processes on what they were thinking of during the entire match mostly, or like what their deck decisions were.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And everybody who's watching this, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next match video.